I'm just going to get some work done. I'm just going to read these laws off to you, okay? So these are just a bird's eye view. I just skimmed. I just, did a search, a LexisNexis search 2019 for Colorado State Code on the laws for dogs. So there's an animal cruelty law in Colorado. It punishes a whole bunch of stuff, including abandonment, CRS 18-9-202. It's a crime to intentionally, knowingly, recklessly, or even negligently to torture, mutilate, kill an animal, overwork, overdrive, overload an animal, torment an animal, deprive an animal of necessary sustenance, unnecessarily or cruelly beat an animal, allow it to be housed in a manner that results in chronic or repeated serious physical harm, carry or confine animals to a car, engage in a sexual act with an animal, fail to provide an animal in my care, food, drink, protection from the weather consistent with the species, breed, and type of animal involved, otherwise mistreat or neglect any animal or cause or procure it to be done. So, Colorado, don't be shitty to animals. Don't be shitty to animals. We need to love everybody. We need to love, all living creatures are worthy of respect and love. Jeffrey Dahmer went around killing cats before he started killing humans. So if you see people who are sadistically being abusive or hurting animals, that is a bad person. That's a bad person. Now, I would love for the threshold for respecting animals to be extended to also respecting the humans. I don't know of any human cruelty law. Don't intentionally, knowingly, recklessly, negligently torture a person, mutilate a person. Don't overdrive, overwork a person. Don't overload a person. Don't torment a person. Don't deprive a person of necessary sustenance. Don't unnecessarily cruelly beat a person. Do not allow a person to be housed in a manner that repeats in chronic or repeated serious physical harm. Do not confine humans to cars. Do not engage in a sexual act with humans. Must be consensual. Do not fail to provide an animal in my care, food, or human. So if there's a human in our care, food, they get food, drink, protection from the weather consistent with the species, breed, and type of animal involved. So when you have a shit ton of homeless people, America, all the cities and towns of America, and then you aren't even showing the amount of respect that you're saying animals are, protected by Colorado law. That's, an animal in my care, I have to feed and, give them water and drink and protect them from the weather, consistent with the species, breed, and type of animal involved. Or don't even mistreat or neglect any human or cause or procure it to be done. So don't mistreat people, don't confine people to cars, do not let them go without food and water, let them be protected from the weather, don't torture them, don't even torment them, don't overwork them, overload them, do not cruelly beat them. So, yeah. That's it. I wothe love for the respect that the animal cruelty law shows for all animals of Colorado to also be extended to the humans. Now, all the laws specifically refer to the humans. The animals have no political power. They have no legal power. The only political power they have is those that represent them. They are property. They are property of somebody, and therefore they are under the care. They are the owners. They're the extension of the owners. Now, a person might look, and hear about, I told a story with the dog warrior law about this little dog that's chasing me. If a person has to kick a shitty, dangerous dog, whether it's big or little, self-defense is intelligence. So this little shitty dog is dangerous. It's running out of the yard and it's trying to bite you and it's trying to snip at you. Yeah, it's tiny, but that doesn't, what? If you was to hurt a tiny animal that wants to hurt you, do it proportionally, right? But it's legal and perfectly reasonable to assume that one would protect themselves from a dangerous dog on the attack. Whether they're big and little has nothing to do with it. And it's not the person who would kick a little shitty, dangerous dog. That's not the bad person. The bad person is the owner of a shitty, dangerous dog. that allows it to run out of the yard and terrorize a community. And the dog itself is bad. So the person is bad, the dog itself is bad, the person who defends himself is not bad. I would hate to live in a community where my kids want to go bike riding, rollerblading, playing basketball, go for a walk, go for a stroll, and you got a bunch of dogs just terrorizing everybody. Or if they get bit, or if they get injured by a dog because of a shitty owner who's, created a shitty dog, or allows the dog to be its own, wicked, beastly self. So that's the only commentary. Let's get on to more Colorado dog laws. Any wildlife killed by dogs has to be reported in 2 days. So bears and mountain lions in 5 days. So dogs, I'm not sure if they're saying they can't kill them, but they have to be reported. And so it has to be seen, are they going out looking for wildlife to kill? So they regulate the wildlife. There's hunting licenses. They use the hunting license as an excuse or as a reason to make sure that the deer and the elk isn't trampling on everything. But they allow the cows to trample on well, that's different. That's Castillo County. So, okay. Wildlife. If dogs kill wildlife, it's got to be reported. The division, the wildlife division, can bring civil action against the owner of any dog inflicting death or injury to any big game or small animals. So anybody that owns a dog that goes out and kills a wild bird, and goes out and kills a wild anything. Now, bears and mountain lions, there's some, I don't know. If you go out into the woods, there's a guy that killed a bear or killed a mountain lion. He was out in the woods and he said it was self-defense, so what can we do about that? But then there is, that's, if his story is true, then that's exactly how he should behave. But then there's also those hunters that went to a bear's nest and killed the mother and all the babies, and they acted like they did something great. And they acted like, look, we got the best, God, look at our hunt. So that's reasonable, but that's saying even wildlife. So not only should dogs not worry livestock, but dogs also shouldn't worry wildlife. Nobody should be worrying anybody. So the humans shouldn't be terrorizing the dogs, and the dogs shouldn't be terrorizing the humans. CRS 25-4-604, Health Department or health officer shall serve notice upon the owner of a dog, cat, or other pet animal or other mammal that has been attacked, or bitten a person to confine the animal at the expense of the owner upon his premises or at a pound or other place designated in the notice for a period designated by the Department of Public Health and Environment. Nobody can obstruct a doctor from looking at a possibly diseased dog. So any dog, cat, other pet, or other mammal that has attacked or bitten a person needs to be confined at the owner's expense. And then doctors who go to look at diseased dogs, if you have rabies, if the dog has rabies, then it has to be put down too. There's CRS 25-4-607, 1A, when it's deemed advisable in the interest of public health and safety, the Board of Health of an organized health department or a county board of health may order that all dogs, cats, and other pet animals or other mammals in the county or district be vaccinated against rabies. So this is a great law for Conejos, for Alamosa, for Rio Grande, Mineral County, Saguache County, Castillo County, to make sure that all the dogs in your county doesn't have rabies or that they're vaccinated against rabies. You get a vaccine, they'll never get rabies ever. And if they get rabies, then they have to be put down, so why not just prevent it? This is not state law. This is a law that allows the county to pass not only this law, but they can pass anything that's more restrictive. So the state law is, so strict, but if the county laws pass more strict laws, then the county law would supersede the state law because more laws are good. That's state statute, but they give the county permission to regulate them further, not just with rabies specifically, with anything else. There's a ban on banning specific breeds of dogs, so you cannot ban pit bulls, but a home rule city or a counties cannot do it. Counties, if you're not a home rule city, counties cannot ban pit bulls. They can't ban pit bulls. Now, that's because the state statute says that they can't. So, therefore, as an administrative county unit, you have to do what the state code says. So that's, good and bad. I guess for pit bulls, it's good, right? Pit bulls can run around all Colorado, all the places where they haven't been banned in the home rule cities. All 64 counties, pit bulls are welcome in all 64 counties of Colorado. So it just seems like it'd be a good idea for counties to pass laws to make sure they're all vaccinated against rabies. There's also sterilization laws. If you get a dog from a dog pound, then that dog must be sterilized first. Or you have to put down a deposit and sign some waiver, sign some agreement saying that you'll get it or you'll get it sterilized as soon as possible. So it must be sterilized. If you get a dog from a dog pound, they can't go around, impregnating other animals. 25-4-610, all dogs suspected of rabies must be picked up. Any dogs not inoculated as per the county order, running wild at large or not, can be picked up. Anybody breaking the rabies laws can get a $100 fine, 30 days in jail. So that's up to the county. That's a county option for them to make sure that all the dogs have vaccines against rabies. Now, there's, like I said, it's not perfect, but when I read the dog laws of Colorado, I'm glad that it's thought out. Somebody was thinking about all these things, and they're not really contradicting. There's some loopholes for some things, and I think it's not, it's not very clear. There's some dog, the animal cruelty laws saying don't, harm any dogs, but if they bite you, you have a right to defend yourself. And so that's, we need to prevent having dangerous dogs that run around and terrorize the goddamn neighborhood. So there's a strict liability law that says that any dog bite law, so any dog that bites a human gives them serious bodily injury or any kind of bodily injury or death, they're able to bring civil action to recover economic damages against the owner's knowledge or lack thereof. CRS 13-21-124. 2. Those who knew that the dog was vicious or had dangerous propensities, the court, upon a motion made by the victim or the personal rep of the victim well, that's redundant, may enter an order that the dog be euthanized by a licensed vet or licensed shelter at the expense of the owner. That's CRS 13-21-124-3. So if a person knows that a dog is dangerous, and it has, bitten somebody, then the victim can make a motion to the court that the dog be euthanized. So it's up to the victim. If the victim is bitten, but they're saying that's okay, the dog can live, then, a dog can sort of gnaw at you but not actually bite you. But it's up to the victim, and the victim can file a motion to have it put down, be euthanized by a licensed vet or a licensed shelter at the expense of the owner. All dogs adopted must be sterilized by the dog pounder by signature or sterilization later and a deposit of the new owner. Any wildlife killed by dogs must be reported. So those are kind of against the dogs, right? Dogs they have to be sterilized if you get them from the dog pound. And some other things. Now there's a lot of laws for the dogs. So some of the laws for the dogs are the animal cruelty law, which is sweeping. The animal cruelty law is sweeping in its scope, and that's CRS 18-9-202. There's also the Dogs, War, and Livestock law, which means that's good for the hunting dog or the herding dogs. The herding dogs are allowed to defend their cattle from other dogs, and the owners are allowed to defend their animals from other wild dogs. If you can't understand that dogs shouldn't bite a human, being a person, maybe you can understand a dog biting a calf. That's wrong. If a dog bites or attacks, if the victim provoked the dog, then so these are some loopholes to, not really loopholes, some of these are loopholes, some of these are, make sense. So you can't go around provoking the dog. You can't go up to it and throw rocks at it or, kick it and punch it, and you can't torment it. You can't worry the dog. So humans can't worry the dog, dogs can't worry the humans. So if the dog is provoked, right, that's reasonable, then the dog goes free, not guilty. If the dog bites or attacks a criminal, especially if they're breaking into your home, there's a home invasion, or they're trespassing on your land, and they have a criminal intent to rob, rape, murder, burn the house down, do something with your kids. They have a sinister face, they're mean mugging. If they're worrying, if somebody, criminal's on your land and they're worrying, us, then they're making a beeline straight for you or your kids or your loved ones or your animals, then stand your ground. This is America, so you have a right to, in fact, that's the purpose of having a dog. We want dogs to bite the criminals who come into your yard to take stuff out of your yard or break into your car or break into your house. So that's fine. That's okay if they bite a criminal. They can, bite a person provoking them. They could bite anybody that's not lawfully on the land. If they are lawfully on the land, now this is a bullshit loophole, okay? If an owner has signs all over the place that says "Beware of dog," then they're excused. So you can invite a contractor, an electrician, and when they come over and they're fixing, the electricity. Excuse me. And you have these beware of dog signs, then they're saying that that's okay. They're excused if the dog bites the electrician. So I think that's bullshit, but essentially not guilty. If you have signs that say beware of dog and the dog is, hurt somebody, well, you should have read the signs. That seems bullshit to me, because even if you have signs and you invite an electrician over, they shouldn't be worried about getting bitten by your dog. Fucking tie your dog up or put it into its pen or into its doghouse. So if the charge is against a dog owner with signs, they're exempt, so this is a major loophole. In cases of not serious bodily injury, victim must show that the dog owner was negligent. So they knew that it was violent, but they didn't do anything about it, or they allowed it to, they turned their head for a second. Other exemptions, other loopholes, police and military dogs in the performance of their duties. Police and military dogs in performance of their duties are exempted. Dogs working as hunting, herding, farm, or ranch dogs are exempted. Property with conspicuously posted "No trespassing" or "Beware of dog" signs are exempted. And yeah, that's it. So the other stupid loophole for the strict liability is if you're a veterinarian. If you're a veterinarian and you're handling a dog and it's dangerous and it bites you, then they say you're not covered under the strict liability law. You probably do something, but it's not going to be, the veterinarians can't use the hammer of the strict liability dog bite law to get justice. Because you can get justice, swift, quick justice. Dog bites you, that dog, you file a motion for it to be put away, muzzled, or euthanized. And then the owner gets charged, fined, put in jail, pays all your medical bills without question, without delay. Immediately, this happens. That's the law. That's the criminal state code of Colorado. Unless you're a veterinarian, or a dog groomer, or humane agency staff person, professional dog handler, trainer, or dog show judge. So, there you go. There's a bunch of dog laws of Colorado. So that should give you a general overview. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a citizen who's reading the rules of the society I live in. Until we meet again. Peace.